Good afternoon, everyone. Let's start with scene 2 on page 128 of my book. Scene 2 takes place in another part of the island, and who all are present? Caliban with a burden of wood. Means you remember he was instructed by Prospero to go and fetch wood for the fire. So he is there with the burden of wood, and then there is noise of thunder. Noise of thunder is heard by him. Caliban. All the infections that the sun sucks up from bog, fens, flats on Prospero's form and make him by an inch meal. So Caliban is always cursing Prospero and Miranda, especially Prospero, right? He hated Prospero. And so all the time, whenever he says anything, he is cursing Prospero or talking against him. So he says all the infection that the sun sucks up. All the infections here means all the diseases which are sucked by the sun, which are present under the sun, right? Which from the bog, fens, flats. So these means fens means the marshy places, right? All the dirty, unhygienic, marshy places, damp places, right? So from all these places, all the bacteria, viruses, and the infections, microbes which are sucked by the sun on Prospero fall. May all of them, all these diseases, they fall upon Prospero and make him by inch meal a disease. And may every inch of him be diseased. Every inch of his body may suffer from disease. This is Caliban's wish. So he is cursing Prospero. His spirit, hear me, and yet I needs must curse. So Caliban is aware of the fact that Prospero's spirits, right? The spirits who work for Prospero, they are present everywhere, right? On that island. So he says that I know that his spirits are listening to me. His spirits are listening to the curses which I am uttering for Prospero. He knows this fact, and yet I needs must curse. But still, I cannot resist. I cannot stop myself from this strong urge of cursing Prospero. I know that his spirits are everywhere. I know that whatever I am saying, whatever I am speaking, is being heard by the spirits of Prospero. But still, I cannot control. But still, I am going on cursing him. But they'll not nor pinch, fright me with urchin shoes, pitch me in the mire, nor lead me like a firebrand in the dark, out of my way, unless he bids them. So he says, but I know these spirits, they don't torture me on their own. He says, but they'll not pinch me. So these spirits, they will not come and pinch me. They will not fright me with urchin shoes. Urchins, you know, those are hedgehogs, right? You know what is a hedgehog? It's a type of an animal with a lot of, you can say, pricks and thorns, right? So, fright me with urchin shows. So, he will not fright me, these spirits, they will not fright me on their own with these urchin shows. And they will not come and pinch me. Pitch me in the mire. Mire means mud. Nor they will push me in the mud. Nor will they throw me in the mud. Nor lead me like a firebrand in the dark. Neither will these spirits, they will lead me like firebrands in the dark out of my way. Means what happened? Caliban used to walk in the dark, and these spirits, they will start burning like a firebrand, and then this Caliban, he started following those spirits, that light, and he went astray. Means they what they did was they misled him, right? They used to take him away from the right path by transforming themselves into like firebrand, right? So nor lead me like the firebrand in the dark out of my way. Out of my way means astray, going astray means moving away from the right path. So neither will they mislead me from the right path by transforming themselves into firebrands. firebrands are basically they used to firebrands are basically those insects which you must have seen. They appear like lights in the dark, right? They appear like bright light in the dark, right? So it's a reference to them, that these spirits, they transform themselves into those firebrands and then they mislead me. Or it can be, it's not clear what they are referring to. In some books, it's like they transform themselves into light, and in some books, it's like this kind of an insect which burns like light. Right? So both can be correct. In the dark, out of my way, unless he bid them. So unless he bid them means unless Prospero commands them. It's only when these spirits, they receive instructions, they receive commands and orders from Prospero, that they come to torture me in these ways, in the ways which Caliban has described. That is by pinching him, by throwing him in the mire, that is the mud, right? By transforming themselves into hedgehog and frightening him, then by transforming themselves into firebrand and misleading, right? So these are the ways you need to remember. Mark this speech as important, right? You need to remember what all things were done by Prospero to torture Caliban, right? How did the spirits, they tortured Caliban? So he says that the spirits, they don't act on their own, they act on the instructions of Prospero. They will not come and torture me on their own unless he bid them. Unless he bid them means unless he commands them, unless he instructs them. But for every triple are they set. But I know that this person, Prospero, he sets them free on me for every triple. For every triple means for the slightest mistake which I make. For every little thing which I do. He sends his spirits after me to torture. Right? So he set upon me. Sometimes like apes that mow and chatter at me, and after bite. So at times, what do these spirits do? They come like apes. They transform themselves into monkeys and they come and they chatter. Chatter means they make screeching sound like monkeys. Right? So the sound of monkeys. They come and they screech near me like monkeys, and after that they bite me also. Then like hedgehogs, which lie tumbling in my barefoot way, and mount their bricks at my footfall. So says then what other means does do these? What other means do these spirits they adopt to torture Caliban? They at times transform themselves into apes and come in front of him and scare him by making those screeching sounds, and then in the end they bite him. Or they also transform themselves into hedgehogs or urchins, and then they start rolling, tumbling on the ground. Means they roll on the ground waiting for my footfall. And what happens? See, these hedgehogs have a lot of pricks, right? Pointed things all over their body. So if you will place your foot upon them, what will happen? You will feel the pain, right? So that is what it says. Their pricks at my footfall. Footfall means footstep. When I am walking, these hedgehogs, they tumble, they roll and come in front of me so that I may put my footstep upon them and get hurt. Sometimes I am all wounded with that. So what else they do? It's clear, the hedgehog thing is clear. They roll and come whenever this Caliban is walking. They roll themselves, they tumble themselves on the floor, and with their pricks, they hurt him on his foot. Sometimes I am all wounded with adders. Adders mean the snakes. And at times what happens? They transform themselves into adders, snakes, right? And what they do, who with their cloven tongues to hiss me into madness. So his entire body is entwined with these adders. Snakes roll all over his body. They entwine his entire body. When the spirits, they transform themselves into snakes. And then what they do, they come in front of him, right? And then they with cloven tongues. Cloven means forked, right? Cloven means split or forked. So then with their cloven tongues, they do hiss me into madness. And what happens? They have the snake opening his mouth, and with the cloven tongue, you must have seen the tongue of a snake, right? It's cloven, it's forked like this, right? So with their forked tongue, they hiss at me and drive me to madness, right? He's so scared that he becomes almost crazy, and to torment me for bringing good in story. And all these things are done by Prospero just because of a little mistake which I do, that is bringing wood in slowly. That I am slow in doing my job. I didn't finish my job at the appointed hour, and so I have to undergo so much torture. I'll fall flat. Perchance he will not mind me. So he says that it's better that I lie flat on the ground, so that there is some chance. Perchance means maybe, right? There is some probability that he may not mind me. He will not mind me means that he will not see me. He will not notice me. See, Caliban saw someone coming, and so he said all these things. Why did he say all these things? Because he feels that whosoever is coming is the spirit who is sent by Prospero to torture him. This is what Caliban thinks. That the creature who is approaching him is a spirit who has been instructed or commanded by Prospero to come and torture Caliban. So he wants to hide himself, and so he says that it's better I lie flat on the ground. Maybe there is some chance that he might not notice me, that I am unnoticed. Lies down, and so Caliban lies. This is a funny scene, please. So Caliban lies on the ground. Enter Trinculo. Then who comes? Trinculo. So whom was he thinking to be a spirit? Trinculo, right? Because he saw Trinculo coming, and Caliban thought him to be a spirit. Trinculo. He has neither bush nor shrub to bear on, any weather at all. And another storm going. I hear it sing in the wind. So Trinculo says, he looks here and there, he enters the scene, he's looking here and there, and he says, there is not even a bush nor a shrub, there is nothing, no tree, no vegetation to provide shelter. To bear off means to provide shelter against any kind of bad weather. Any weather means against any kind of adverse weather, against any kind of bad weather, there is no vegetation which can provide shelter. And another storm brewing. Brewing means preparing, and he looks at the sky, and he finds that the weather is not good. The weather is again turning bad, and so he feels that there is another storm is about to come. I hear it sing. I hear it sing in the wind. I hear it sing in the wind means that what happens? Whenever there is a storm, the wind starts making some sound, right? So that is why he says that the wind starts blowing very fast, and so it makes some sound. So that is why he says that I hear it sing in the wind. I can hear the winds blowing, and so I'm sure that the weather is turning bad, and a bad storm, another storm is in process, and very soon there'll be another storm. Yon, same black clouds, and then he looks up at the sky and he says, yon. Yon means something which is at a distance, yonder, right? See, there are again black clouds in the sky, yon huge ones, and they are big clouds, big black clouds. You can see big black clouds in the sky. Looks like a foul bombard that would shed his liquor. So, and it appears that these clouds, they are like big bags of liquor. Bombards means big leather bags in which liquor was filled. Liquor, wine. Right? So, in which liquor was filled. So, a foul bombard that would shed his liquor. So, it seems he has made a comparison of the clouds to a big leather bag, leather vessel kind of a thing, which was used to fill liquor. So that would shed is liquor. And it seems that these clouds, they are going to pour all the liquor which they contain on the earth. Right? So they seem to be like big bags of liquor which are about to pour their liquid, their content on the earth. If it should thunder as it did before, I know not where to hide my head. So then he looks here and there and he says, you remember in the excuse me. You remember in Act 1, Scene 1, there was a storm, right? So he is referring to that storm. He says that if there is another storm, there is another thunderstorm like the way it was before, like the one which I faced a while ago, I know not where to hide my head. Then I can see no place around me to hide. No place around me to protect myself from getting wet. Yon same cloud cannot choose but fall by will. So then he looks up and he says that these clouds, these same black huge clouds, cannot choose but fall by pill falls. So pill falls. Pill fall means heavy shower. Right. So by looking at the clouds, I can make out that there is about to be heavy rain. Right. It's going to rain heavily in no time, and I am not able to find any place to hide my head. What have we here? And then he's looking here and there, trying to find some shelter to save himself, this person, Trinculo. And then he sees Caliban. You remember Caliban? He was lying on the ground, right? So he sees Caliban lying there on the ground. So he sees Caliban. What have we here? And then the moment he looks at Caliban, he says, oh, I have found something. I can see something here. So you remember Caliban was not a human being, right? He was a strange, ugly creature, kind of a monster. So obviously he was something new for Trinculo or for any other human being. He must have not seen a similar creature in his life. So that is why he says, what have we here? So he is like, says that, what have I found here? A man or a fish, dead or alive? He says, oh, is it a man or is it a fish? He's not sure because he resembles both. So dead or alive. And because Caliban was lying on the ground, so again he is not sure whether that creature is dead or it is alive. A fish. And then he comes to the judgment that this is definitely not a man, this is a fish. He smells like a fish. And how does he come to the conclusion that he's a fish? Because Caliban was smelling like a fish. Dead or alive, a fish. He smells like a fish. A very ancient and fish-like smell. Ancient means very old, stale fish. Because it is in reference to a fish, so he is smelling like a very strange, old, stale fish. A kind of knot of the name is Poor John. Poor John is the name of a fish, right? A saltwater fish. Poor John, right? So his smell is of a stale fish, a very strange kind of a stale fish, smelling like that, and he doesn't smell like a new, fresh John. Sorry, new Poor John. New, fresh Poor John. A strange fish. So then he goes near Caliban, he approaches him. He must have smelled him, and the way he was smelling, it was awful. So he says he is definitely a strange kind of fish. Were I in England now, as once I was, and had but the fish painted, not a holiday fool there, but would give a piece of silver. So he says, I wish I was in England, like I used to be in the past. Right? Now he is in the island, but he belonged to England. Right? Before coming to Italy, he must have lived in England at some point of time in the past. That is why he says that if I were in England, like the way I used to be long ago, and had but this fish painted, then on getting such a strange creature, what would have I done? I would have got it painted. Not a holiday food. There would give a piece of silver. So what would have I done? I would have done. I would have painted this fish, decorated it, and put it on board. right? That is put him for display. Then all the holiday food, all the foolish people who roam here and there on holidays, right? Trying to find some adventure and excitement, they must have given a silver. A silver means a silver coin to have a glimpse of such a strange creature, right? So what he means to say that had I been in England, the people there, the foolish people there, the people whose only job is fooling around here and there, right? Idly loitering here and there in search of something exciting and some adventure, they would have paid me a silver coin to look at this strange creature. This is a strange fish. What would give me a piece of silver? A piece of silver means a piece of a silver coin. There would this monster make. And then this monster looking creature, this creature who resembles a monster, must have made a man's fortune. Means I would have earned a lot of money by just putting this strange creature on display, right? So he would have, this strange monster would have made my fortune. Made my fortune means I would have grown rich because of him. And strange beast there makes a man. Why? Because he says that in England, in a place like England, the strange beast, the strange animal makes a man. Makes a man means makes the fortune of a man. It makes a person rich. The strange animals and the strange beasts, they make the fortune of a man in England when they will not give a doit to relieve a lame beggar. And the people of England are such that they will not spend a doit. Doit means a small coin, a coin of a smaller value. So they will not, the people of England, they will not give a lame beggar, a crippled beggar, a doit, but they will spend a silver coin looking at these strange animals and strange creatures. They will lay out 10 to see a dead Indian. So they will not spend a single small penny on a poor beggar, on a poor crippled beggar, but they can give 10 coins for to have a glimpse of a dead Indian. Dead Indian here means a dead Indian. See, those were in these European countries, these red Indians, they were kind of they seem to excite the curiosity of the people living there. Why? Because most of them were tribals. They were not so developed. So maybe the way they dressed, right, the way they behaved. So they seemed to be really strange, these red Indians. So that is why he makes a mention of it, that the people of England may go and spend 10 coins to have a look at the red Indians instead of giving a penny to a crippled beggar. Leg like a man and his fins like arms. Then he goes near Caliban and he looks at him carefully. He says, leg like a man. He has the legs of a man. His legs resemble a human being and his fins like arms. But his arms are like fins. Which animal has fins? Fish. So that is why he guessed him to be a fish. So he says his arms are like fins, but his legs are like man. Warm, oh my God. And then he must have touched him, right? And when he touched Caliban, he felt him to be warm. Oh my God. Oh my God. I do now let loose my opinion. Hold it no longer. This is no fish, but an islander. So he says, the moment he touches Caliban, he realizes that he is warm, his body is warm. So he says, oh my God, I would like to change my opinion. Because what was his earlier opinion? Earlier, his opinion was that Caliban is a fish. So now he says that let loose. Let loose means change. I would like to change my opinion. Why? Because my opinion doesn't hold true any longer. After touching this monster, this strange creature, I would like to change my opinion. This is no fish, right? So I disagree with my own opinion, which I had about this strange creature earlier, that he is a fish. So he decides that he comes to the conclusion that this is no fish, but an islander. Instead of a fish, this is an islander that hath lately suffered by a thunderbolt. And this islander has recently suffered by a thunderbolt. Just a minute, please. So, but an islander that has lately suffered by a thunderbolt. So I'm sure that this person is not a fish. Sorry, this creature is not a fish, but he is definitely some strange creature belonging to this island, and who is lying here because he has suffered a thunderbolt. Maybe he has been attacked by the thunderbolt, and so that is why he is lying here on the floor like this. Alas, the storm is come again. And then there was again a storm when he was still analyzing Caliban, right? So there was a storm. My best way is to creep under his gabardine. There is no other shelter here about. So he says, you remember he was not able to find any shelter around him, right? Any place to hide himself from getting wet or being affected by the thunderstorm. And so he decides that, alas, there is a storm again. So there is a storm again. And so the best idea which came to his head was to go inside his gabardine. Gabardine means his dress, what Caliban was wearing, right? So he decides to move inside his dress and hide himself. That is the cloak which he was wearing, the gown which he was wearing, that Caliban. So I would better creep under his gabardine. So he decides to go inside his dress. There is no other shelter here about. Why? Because I can find no other shelter near me. There is no other place to hide my head, so I am going to find shelter inside his gabardine. Misery acquaints a man with strange petty. So he says that misery or misfortune forces people to keep company of even a strange creature, even awful smelling creatures like Caliban, right? Whenever misfortune falls upon you, then you are forced to be in the company of such awful smelling strange creatures also. I will hear shout till the dregs of the storm be past. So he says that I will hear shout. Shout means take shelter. I will hear take shelter till the dregs. Dregs means the last remains. Right? Till the last remains of the storm, they are past. Till they are over. Till the storm is entirely over. Till the storm is completely over, gone. Till that time, I will keep on hiding inside his gabardine. This is clear?
Can we call them a...
Okay. So, enters Stefano. So, he creeps under Caliban's garment. So, he just enters Caliban's garment. Right? He creeps inside Caliban's garment. Then what happened? Now, Trinculo, Caliban is lying on the floor. Trinculo has moved inside Caliban's garments. Right? And then what happens? A third character enters the scene. And who is he? Stefano. Right? So Stefano enters the scene. Enters Stefano singing a bottle in his hand. So Stefano enters the scene. He is holding a bottle in his hand, a bottle of wine in his hand, and he is singing. So this is the song which he is singing. I shall no more to see, here shall I die ashore. This is very scurvy to sing at the man's funeral. Well, here's my comfort. So he says, I shall no, this was the song. These are the words of the song. I shall no more to see means I will not again go to sea. I will never go to sea again to see. Here shall I die ashore. So I will die on the shore only. I will not again, never again go back to the sea. And then he says that this is a very scurvy tune. Scurvy tune means wretched tune. Right? This is a miserable tune which I am singing. This is he is heavily drunk. Right? He is not in his senses. So he sings two lines and then he says that this is a scurvy tune. This is a wretched, this is a miserable tune which I am singing to sing at a man's funeral. And this tune which I am singing is suitable to be sung on a man's funeral. Right? So this is a kind of a very sorrowful tune, sorrowful song which I am singing. Well, here's in my comfort. And then he again takes his bottle and he says, lifts his bottle and says, but this is my comfort, and he drinks some wine. But this is the comforting thing I have. And he drinks some wine. The man, the swimmer, then he again starts singing. After having a sip or two from his bottle, he again starts singing. He says, the master, the swimmer, the boatswain and I, the gunner and his mate, loved Moll, Meg and Marian and Marjorie. And none of us cared for Kate, for she had a tongue with a Dan. This is the song which he's singing. says the master, the swabber. Who's the swabber? The cleaner of the ship. So the master, the swabber, the boatswain, and I. The gunner and his mate. So these are the people who were on board the ship. Love, Moll, Meg, Marian, and Marjorie. These are the lyrics of the song. They actually doesn't mean anything much. But none. So they love these people. That is the master, the boatswain, the gunner, and the sweeper, and everyone. They love Moll. They love Meg. They love Marian, and they love Marjorie. But nobody cared for Kate. Kate was neglected. For she had a tongue with a tang. And what was the reason? Because she had a tongue with a tang. She had a sharp tongue. Right? She had a shrill voice and a sharp tongue. Would cry to the sailor, go hand. And she would cry to the sailor because her tongue she was rather rude, she was very blunt, and she would scream to the sailor that you go and hang yourself. She loved not the savor of the tar nor the fish. Who is she here? Kate. So Kate loved, savor means the smell. She didn't like the smell of the tar and the fish. Then to sea boys and let her go. So says that let's go to the sea boys and let Kate go and hang herself. Let her go and hang herself. She who is cursing every other person to go and hang, let Kate go and hang herself. Let her go hang. Let her be cursed. This is a scurvy tune. And after singing these lines, he again decides. He again comes to the conclusion that this tune is also not a happy one. This is also a miserable, a bad, a wretched tune. And so, but here's my comfort, drinks. And so he again lifts his bottle and says, but this is my comfort, and drinks 2-3 sips from his bottle. Do not torment me. So Caliban, now, what was happening to Caliban? Trinculo was inside his garment, right? And you know, if something enters your garment, what happens, right? So he must be feeling some tickling kind of a sensation. So he says, do not torment me. Oh, so he's lying there with his eyes closed, waiting for all the torture which Prospero has sent for him. You remember, he thought Trinculo to be what? He thought Trinculo to be a spirit sent by Prospero, right? And so he says that, please don't torment me. Oh, what's the matter? Are we devils here? And Stefano is there walking with a bottle in hand, out of senses. He says, what's the matter? What's wrong with this place? Are we devils here? Is this place occupied by devils? Do you put tricks upon? And then he must have seen Caliban there. So he says that obviously Caliban didn't seem to be a normal person. He seemed to be like a devil. And so he says that have we devils here? Is this island occupied by devils? Do you put tricks upon savage and men of Ind means Indians, the red Indians. He says that do you put tricks? Do you put tricks means do you scare us with your magic art? Do you play some magic tricks upon savages and men? Of means of red Indians. So he looks at this creature, Caliban, and he says, who are you? You seem to be a devil. Do you have some magic? Do you know some magic tricks with which you cast a magic spell upon the human beings and upon the savages? Savages means the uncivilized creatures. Those are the savages. Do you scare them? Do you frighten them? Men of means men of red Indian, means men belonging to the red Indian community, right? So do you scare these red Indians? Because he was living in an island. Obviously, he was not living in an island. He was on that island at the present moment, and so obviously it was kind of a lonely, uninhabited island, and so on that place definitely there may not be all the civilized people. Right? Like Naples. And so he says that, who are you, you strange creature? Do you cast a spell upon the red Indians? Because red Indians, I told you, they were tribal people and they used to live on such places, such lonely places. so that is why he says that who are you? Are you a devil who uses a stretch to cast a spell to frighten the Red Indians and the uncivilized people? Red Indians were considered to be uncivilized. Right? They were not a very developed community. Tribals are not very developed people. I have not escaped drowning to be appeared down of your 4 legs. 4 legs. Why 4 legs? 2 legs of Caliban and 2 legs of Trinculo. Right? He is able to see 4 legs coming out of that cavity. Right? Because Caliban, because Trinculo moved inside Caliban's cloak, and so Stefano 4 legs must be visible to Stefano. And so he says, what do you think? I have been saved from drowning, from getting drowned in that shipwreck, just to be scared by you, to be frightened by you, by your 4 legs. For it had been said. So he says that what do you think? I have been saved from that shipwreck just to be frightened by your 4 legs. The spirit torments me. So Caliban, because Trinculo was inside him and he must be moving. So Caliban says, the spirit torments me, the spirit is tormenting me. This is some monster of the isle with 4 legs. So see, everyone is worried with his own problem. Trinculo wanted to save himself from getting wet. Right? Caliban wanted to save himself from getting noticed by the spirits which were sent by Prospero. Right? Thinking Trinculo to be one of those spirits. Stefano is still worried who this strange creature is. Busy drinking and looking at looking at Caliban. Stefano, this is some monster of the isle with 4 legs. So then he comes to the conclusion, this definitely is a monster. Right? He is looking at Caliban and he says, this is some monster of the island who has 4 legs. Who has got, and I take it, an ague. Ague means, what is an ague? Ague means fever. Right? So, and it seems because Caliban was lying on the floor. So that is why he says that I'm sure that he is the monster of the island who has 4 legs and he is suffering from fever. So that is why he is lying like this. Where the devil is, should he learn our language? And so because Caliban was there lying, right, that the spirits are tormenting me. So he was talking in English, right? He was talking in the language of the Stefano. And so this shocks Stefano. He says, from where did he learn our language? He's a devil. He's a monster who lives on this island. How come he knows my language? I will give him some relief, if it be but for that. If I can recover him and keep him tame and get to Naples with him, he is a present for any emperor that ever trod on me instead. So he says that I think this monster is suffering from fever. That is why he is lying on the ground. So what will I do? I will just try to cure him. I will just try to give him some relief. Now you can imagine what relief he will give. He will just make him drink, right? So what relief will a drunkard give? So he will just make him drink. So he says that I will try to give some relief to this monster from his fever. And then what will I do? Then if I am able to cure him of his fever, recover means if I am able to cure this monster of his fever, then I will tame him. Tame him means then I will domesticate him. Right? I will bring him under my control. And then once we go to Naples, I will take him along with me to Naples. And in Naples, what will he do? He will gift this monster to some emperor. Whoever trod means whoever roamed on the neat's leather. Neat's leather means the leather made from the cow's skin or the calf's skin. Right? So that is the neat's leather. So I will go and I will give him as a gift to the emperor. Right? So obviously the emperor will be very happy in getting such a strange gift. I think we should end here. It's already time. We continue from here tomorrow.